Hey, it's Dougie Wood, and I'm a Microsoft MVP. I've been working with SharePoint for almost 20 years, and I've been rewarded by Microsoft as an MVP for all the knowledge that I share back completely for free to you via my YouTube channel. So if you're not yet subscribed, please do so now. Today, I'm going to be talking about simplifying the SharePoint user roles and permissions. I'm going to be explaining this to you step by step to give you the information that you need to know. Now, there's actually two different types of SharePoint sites, and they work the roles slightly differently. The good news is that the second example I will show you is actually even easier than the first. So, the two different types we have are referred to as a communication site, which is what we can see here, and we have a team site, which we can see here. Now, you can tell if it's a SharePoint team site because the navigation bar will always be on the left-hand side if it's a team site. If it's a communication site, the navigation bar will always be at the top. So that's the easiest way for you to determine whether or not you have a communication site that you're trying to understand the roles and access to, or a team site that you're trying to understand the access to. Now, starting off, I'm going to be talking about the communication sites. Now, communication sites actually have three types of roles that you can give someone access to. And to get to them, we click on this Site Access button on the right-hand side of our SharePoint site. Within here, we can see we actually have three different groups. We have what we call site owners, we have site members, and we have site visitors. Now, each one of these has their own level of permission. Now, the permission for that group is full control for site owners, limited control for site members, and no control for site visitors. Now, to really try and break this down of what these different areas have, um, realistically, for a communication site, you only really want to be focusing on the top and the bottom, site owners and site visitors. And I'll explain why. Now, site owners, and by clicking any of these groups, we can actually open them up and we can see who has access. Now, site owners are people that can do everything on the SharePoint site. They can create new content, they can delete content, they can add people, remove people. They have the full control over the SharePoint site. And that's defined as full control of the site content, theme, permission settings, site settings, and hub associations. Basically, everything I just described before, but that's obviously the more kind of technical language. Next, we have site members. Now, these people are described as they can edit and view site content, but they don't have the full level of access, the permissions, the control, the settings of the site. They don't necessarily have all of that. Then we have the bottom, which is no control, which is that they can view the site content. Now, actually, this previously was referred to as a read only user. Now, I actually prefer that because I think that then puts exactly what it is on the tin. No control makes it sound like there's no access. That isn't the case at all. They have the ability to come in and read the content, as in they can come in, they can see the SharePoint site, they can scroll around it, they can open up content, they can click around to go to different pages and documents and things like that, but they can't edit anything, they can't upload anything, they can't delete anything. So this is why actually I often recommend on a communication site that you actually just focus on the top and the bottom. The reason being is full control should be able to just do everything. Now, for a communication site, typically you would expect just maybe one, two, or a handful of people would have access. So, say for example, this human resources communication site, as you can see, it's all about publishing information to the wider organization about compensation, career advice, benefits for working for the organization. It's all information to be consumed by the employees of this organization. So you'd only expect maybe a handful of people from the HR department to have access to that. Now we can give somebody the site owner access simply just by typing in their name. So if I was to type in someone's name into here, you can see by default it will give them the read access, which will drop them into that no control group. But in this case, I can say full control. Now, when I click on this button, or by default it will already be checked, it will send them an email. So we can actually put in a little message, say, hey, you now have access to the human resources site, if I wanted to do that. And you can see a little summary. It's picking out an image from the page and a little bit of text, and click on share, and that'll then send them the link to just tell them that they now have access. I can also expand this out, and now I can see that they now have access to this. Now, as I say, I would not necessarily think about the site members, the limited control. If you really want to go down that route and you want to look into a lot more advanced permissions, then fine, go down that route. But I'm saying for real beginners, and this video is just to try and simplify it as much as possible, just forget about this because there's not that much difference between the site members and the site owners in the grand scheme of things. But site members will not have the full admin access. So you almost want to be thinking about who has admin access, and they're your site owners with full control, and who are people just purely consumers. They're just coming here to read the content, download things, but they're not there to edit or upload anything. And those people are your site visitors with no control. Now, you can list out everybody's name individually if you wanted to, but that is a terrible idea. You are going to run into problems because you'll forever be trying to manage removing people who have left the organization, adding new people who have joined the organization. It's just a terrible idea. You can add in security groups. So if you have what was called Active Directory security groups, but they're now called Enter ID security groups, if you have those groups, you can just type them in and drop them in here. But here's a little life hack for you, a little SharePoint top tip for you. There is a default SharePoint group that you can add that is literally called everyone except external users. Now, what that means is everybody inside of your organization who has a license to access SharePoint is automatically added into this group. So if you want everybody in the organization to see this human resources site, which is pretty much the case because we want every employee of our organization to see all of this information, rather than naming everyone, I'm just going to select this group, make sure it's set to read. I probably don't want to send everybody an email, to be fair. Then click on share. And now in my site access, you can see, if I expand this out, I can see I've got myself and Chris as the full control site owners, and everyone else has just site visitor, no control, meaning they can view site content, they can download things, but they can't edit or upload. So the final thing I'll say about this as well is it's actually really simple to remove people just by clicking on this little drop down here. If, say, for example, Chris was to go and join a different department or leave the organization altogether, I can choose to remove him. If I wanted to almost downgrade his level of access, I can always choose, for example, to say, click on read, and that'll then move him from the site owner's full control group into the site visitor's no control group. Now, the other final thing that I'll mention is you can create your own groupings, your own permission levels, which goes into much more granular levels of access of what you can and can't do on SharePoint. That's way more advanced than you really need to know if you're a beginner and you're just getting started administrating a SharePoint site. Just focus on the full control and the no control levels of access because that will make your life way more simple. Now, as I said before, there's two different sites of SharePoint sites. This was a communication site, and it's for publishing information. In fact, it used to be called a publishing site, and then they changed it to be called communication site. Now, that's the first option. The second option I'm saying is the team site, which as a recapper, we know it's a team site because our navigation bar is on the left-hand side. Now, the team sites work slightly differently. The reason being is they're actually backed up by an Entra group. It's actually these would be called Office 365 groups, but they are essentially a security group that can be used in multiple locations. Nowadays, the most commonly used place that grouping will be seen is in Microsoft Teams. You don't have to have a Microsoft team for a SharePoint team site, but if you have a Microsoft team, you will automatically have a SharePoint team site created for you. And the membership is the same. Now, I say membership because you'll notice on the top right corner here, it doesn't say site access. Like on a communication site, it says site access. On a SharePoint team site, it talks about members. Now, when you click on this, you can see we can add in members. So we can click on add members. And again, I can just type in someone's name into this. And now we can see there's actually only two layers to this. Now, with a team site, you don't have the option of read only, as in the no control access. If you have access to a team site, you have the full access to be able to edit content, delete content, upload content. As a owner, So there's two different types of owners. We have members. Members, as they does everything above. They edit, they can delete, they can create. That it's all about collaboration inside of a team site. So they can do all they need to do. They can edit, they can view site content, including files, pages, lists, and navigation. To make a member an owner, add them as a member and then use the drop-down arrow in the member profile to make them an owner. And I'll show you that in a second. And then as a site owner, they have the full control of the site content, as well as the theme, permission settings, site settings, and hub associations. So from a content perspective, in terms of editing, deleting, creating new stuff, the roles are exactly the same. They're identical. Site owners just have more access to be able to control like who can come and go from this particular team site. So once I've added somebody like Chris, I can click on save. Now I can see he's a member. I can choose to either make him an owner by clicking on the drop down and then selecting on owner, which will then give him all of those access and controls as I was saying before, or I can select to just completely remove him from the group. So that'll completely remove him as well. As I say, these permissions, or membership as they're known, are reflective inside of the Microsoft Team area as well. So if you have a Microsoft Team that's associated to this SharePoint Team site, it will reflect inside that Microsoft Team area as well. Cool. And as I say, that it's a lot more simple when it comes to team sites than communication sites. And that's basically everything you need to know. There is another video on my YouTube channel which goes into a lot more detail, and we talk about some of the extra layers of security that's above the SharePoint site. So we've just talked about the simple roles, responsibilities, and permissions that come directly on the SharePoint site. But there is actually a couple of layers of security above that. One that's referred to as a site collection administrator, and one that's a SharePoint admin role, and then a global administrator. So there's multiple layers, and they are actually technically outside of the SharePoint site itself. So if you want to know a bit more about those levels of access, then go and check out, there's a video called Demystifying SharePoint Permissions on my YouTube channel. Go check that out. In fact, I'll probably even put a link below to make it easier for you to find it. And that'll give you a lot more details about this. Now, if you do need any professional services, so you need some help setting up your SharePoint site or security, again, there's a link in the description below to contact me and book in a free SharePoint consultation to find out how we could potentially be helping you out in the future. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and like the video. Subscribe to my channel for more SharePoint content. If you've got any questions at all, use the comments feed below. Thank you very much for watching this video.